I have always been interested in conspiracy theories, and especially during the pandemic, conspiracy theories seem to be rampant. And what I was really curious about, and still am, is the way conspiracy theories work and how the psyche of conspiracy theorists are working. So I thought it would be helpful to make a video about this in order to find out for myself what it really means to be a conspiracy theorist, what a conspiracy theory actually is, and yeah, and what it consists of. So I am curious as to how the psyche of conspiracy theorists and how that of its believers fits together. For this, I will have to delve deeper into the matter, and I'll refer to a publication in the European Journal of Social Psychology. Its authors describe four facets of belief in conspiracy theories. First, that conspiracy theories have a facet of consequentialism. As a second factor, belief in conspiracy theories is something universal, and in addition, belief is emotional, and lastly, social. I will explain these facets one by one to the best of my ability. First off, we have the consequential damage. Belief in conspiracy theories affects a number of important dimensions of life. The publication cites the example of the belief that parents do not want their children vaccinated because it causes autism, even though this finds no resonance in science. This obviously has implications for a child's personal health, but also for public health as a whole. In addition, it also affects interpersonal relationships. It can be assumed that people who adhere to conspiracy beliefs tend to be more kind of victims of stigmatization. Preaching these theories creates exclusion and the fear of negative reactions and feedback. A demonstrated correlation can be observed between conspiracy belief and the degradation of interpersonal relationships. These include things like paranoia, narcissism, and Machiavellianism. Conspiracy belief also has social consequences. For example, politics are constantly questioned, and one may not keep up in society. This can become dangerous when one considers that several national security groups warned against groups like QAnon. It is said that theories that question the reliability of political institutions normalize the rule of law and the legitimacy of the rule of law as a whole is questioned. For one thing, conspiracy theories are not new, nor are they exclusive to the West. Belief in conspiracies is a fundamental part of human being. It even helps us to some extent. It keeps a society critical and provides a constant push against power in order to achieve greater democratization. Geez, that's a word. And openness. It also creates a lot of activism. For example, Watergate once began as a conspiracy theory, but when it was proven it did cause a corrupt president, Nixon at the time, to be deposed. It causes power to be questioned, and once upon a time, in the days when we didn't stay in one place, it even served as a tool to counter conspiracies gathering in secret. Also, conspiracy theories occur in every social setting imaginable. Take, for example, the workplace where employees suspect that management is plotting to lay off many employees. The emotional part is somewhat paradoxical. Typical of conspiracy beliefs is that conspiracy theories seem to base their beliefs on empirical and rational grounds. Take, for example, the conspiracy theories about September 11th, 2001, in which it is believed that the attack was an inside job by the US government and thus committed the act itself. The given evidence for this is that the steel structure of the Twin Towers could never have collapsed, considering the maximum temperature that kerosene can reach. Thus, it cannot be otherwise than that this was a controlled implosion. Science, on the other hand, argues that conspiracy theories are deeply emotional. Thus, a consistency can be observed between the level of education a person has received and believing conspiracy theories. In general, the higher the level of education, the less the amount of conspiracy belief. I think this has something to do with training and analytical thinking. In addition, conspiracy belief is rooted in sense making, something that is sensitive to fearful threats. This is substantiated by the fact that conspiracy theories find their momentum when there is a crisis situation, like COVID, but also 9/11 or the Cold War with its Red Scare that made rounds in the US. The psychological facets of conspiracy are belief, are fear, uncertainty, and a sense of having no control. Two cognitive processes lie behind conspiracy belief, according to the publication. The first is pattern recognition. Humans naturally have an innate ability to recognize patterns. So one looks for meaningful patterns and causal relationships, whether they are present or not. The second process means that one likes to look for an explanation for events that cannot be explained logically at first. One then assumes that the event came about at the hands of an entity. Conspiracy belief is then reinforced by this recognition on the one hand and belief in the doings of the entity, the dark force, on the other. I personally think this is kind of a refusal of the fact that the world is a lot more banal than we'd like to think. A belief can only be identified as a conspiracy belief when there is a strong conflict between two groups. Two social facets come into play here. On one hand, there is an in group under threat from a hostile out group. Often, this out group is attributed a certain power. Think of political power, but also, for example, certain magical powers, for example, through a pact with Satan. In addition, there is empirical evidence for this group oriented conspiracy belief. For example, there is a line of research that focuses on the narcissism of conspiracy believers. The in group is superior, all the other competing in groups, as well as the out groups, are inferior, for example, on grounds of morality. This strong group feeling then reinforces belief in conspiracy theories when there is the assumption of an outside threat from a particular outgroup. This argument is strengthened by the observation that marginalized population minorities seem to fall prey to conspiracy beliefs more often because of this strong group feeling. So much for the psyche behind conspiracy theories. What I am particularly curious about now is the psyche of conspiracy theorists. For this, I will have to answer a number of questions. First, my suspicion is that no one starts out as a conspiracy theorist. The first question then will have to be, how come people find belief in conspiracy theories, and why do people believe in conspiracy theories? Next, I am curious about the social dynamics within such a conspiracy community. So, why conspiracy belief? For this, I cite a publication from the University of Kent. The paper identifies three factors that play a role in conspiracy belief. To answer the question of why people come to believe in conspiracy theories, these facets must be highlighted. The first is epistemological, people's desire to understand things. The second is existential, a desire for control and security. And finally, there's the social facet, the desire for a positive self image or positive image of one group. One by one, these facets will be reviewed. If you are ever bored and want to be interesting at a party, herewith the definition of epistemology. Epistemology tries to find answers to questions such as what is knowledge, and what is belief, and what is knowing. It is, in short, the doctrine of knowledge. So when something is approached epistemologically, one asks whether the knowledge gained is really knowledge and therefore really understood. Finding causal connections, patterns, and explanations is an essential part of people's understanding of the world around them. People have an innate curiosity and want to understand and make sense of the world and how it is put together. People want to have the truth and nothing but the truth. In addition, people are intolerant of uncertainty, and it is not often tolerated that something is arbitrary or needs no further explanation, that things are just the way they are. Causality, or cause and effect, is a way to get around this uncertainty and also provide food for conspiracy theories. Conspiracy theories respond to this desire for certainty and provide an explanation for the chaos that is life. Also, conspiracy theories are intolerant of falsification or debunking, which is evidenced in the fact that one who attempts to overturn the conspiracy theory is often seen as part of the conspiracy. This creates an opportunity for consistent belief in the theory. Especially uncertainty plays a big role in conspiracy belief. An experiment was done for this purpose. It went as follows. First, people were asked to think about the emotions felt when confronted with times of uncertainty or when watching television. With this, the, participants, the participants were more or less manipulated in the feeling of uncertainty was brought to the forefront. After this, information was shown about the immorality and morality of oil companies and their role in the Iraq War. As it turned out, people were only influenced by morality when they were uncertain about the situation. Pattern recognition also plays a huge role. Often the patterns perceived are illusory, and thus the patterns are not there at all. Research showed a link between pattern recognition and belief in known conspiracy theories and/or supernatural phenomena. A website was used to play heads or tails where the outcome is completely random. Participants were then asked whether they believe there is a pattern behind it or whether they coin behaves in a completely random manner. The participants who stated there was a pattern in it mostly had a belief in conspiracy theories or the supernatural. As mentioned earlier, other research shows that people do not accept that there is a trivial reason behind large scale issues or events of great significance. An example is the death of Princess Diana. After all, it cannot be that she merely had a car accident in a tunnel and that it was because the driver was drunk. So the British royal family must have been behind it. So see here, the refusal to assume that the world is a lot more boring or banal than one might like to think. In addition, it was found that people who have a great need for what publication calls cognitive closure are more likely to hold a conspiracy theory or a conspiracy belief, I should say. By cognitive closure, it is meant that one no longer wants to think about something. This is how it is, and I'm not going to look at it anymore. Bit of that idea. In addition, this phenomenon of cognitive closure especially finds its resonance when there is no consistent or clear official explanation for a particular event. Research also shows that conspiracy belief often reflects one's own behavior. People believe that they themselves would be part of the conspiracy if they had the opportunity to do so. Conspiracy belief is also deeply existential. One has a tremendous need for certainty and control as has been said many times in this video. Conspiracy belief can satisfy this need by saying, we are fighting against dark force X. There are two elements in this, namely the epistemological element, that there is a dark force, more or less a refusal of banality, and, on the other hand, that there is a struggle. The control that is lost, for example, because of a certain social psychological status, is thereby recaptured. It detracts from the argument that conspiracy believers are gullible. Rather, people turn to conspiracy theories, or perhaps better, flirt with them the moment when they feel they are losing control over specific aspects of their lives. Conspiracy theories additionally have a social element. Researchers working on this topic point out that it could contribute to positive self-image or in-group image. The in-group is capable, the out-group is not. Any negativity can be blamed on an out-group of choice. Research agrees with this argument. It was found that conspiracy theories do especially well with people who are narcissistic and thus benefit enormously from a positive self-image, even though this is due to the fact that they actually have extremely low self-esteem, but want to overcompensate for it. This is because it makes people feel that they are, yes, unique. Remember, a very big talking point I have heard in many conspiracy theories videos where they interview people is the line somewhere around like, I know this, you don't, I'm not going to show it to you because you are not ready for that. Conspiracy belief gives people the idea of having hidden truths, secret knowledge that other people do not have. In addition, there is narcissism not only of the individual but also of the in-group as a whole. The in-group claims to be superior to the out-groups. Social exclusion also plays a role. People who feel excluded seem more likely to believe in conspiracy theories. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like this video, and leave a comment. As you know, this channel is all about engagement and discussion. In the next episode, we will delve into what makes a conspiracy theorist. So I will try to make a profile of who seems to be susceptible to conspiracy belief. Again, thank you for watching and see you next time.